Hello, everybody. Carlton Pearson, your fellow sojourner in truth and of truth and about truth and expanded consciousness and radical inclusion and growth, expansion, imagination, creation, co-creation, procreation, recreation. Thanks for being my friend. I mean that at a level that I never have said it to you before. During this period, the last several weeks that I've been experiencing this special treatment, you showed a side of you. Just in your, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments. I read as many as I can, and I'll continue to. They're just so heartwarming, and you make me value my life more and my participation in life with you, and that we're engaging together continually. Madge has been posting some things to make you aware of a lot of this, and we'll continue to do that. Next Tuesday, Dr. Michael Beckwith will be my guest, and others will come on from time to time, and I'll be back when I can. In the meantime, I'll be doing things like this to talk about we must all live, we must all die, we must all live until we die, and then we'll live again. 20 years I've been dealing with cancer and survived it. I'm a 20-year survivor, almost 21 years of cancer, and so this is another reoccurrence and a reappearance, and I'm just as cool about it now as I ever was, or as I was before. We're in this together. We're believing for the best. But again, thank you for being who you are, and thank you for listening to these brief words. I love you so, so much. We'll stay in touch. Hey, y'all.
Sorry to reason that far.
Hello, everybody. Carlton Pearson. I'm not going to be with you real long tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Some of you have noticed that I've missed the last 3 weeks in a row. I would have missed tonight. I've never been this sick in my life. I got affected by, I've been working with prostate cancer for 20 years. I learned I had it when I was 50 years old, and I'm 70. And but it cleared out of my system, and other than some scar tissue issues and enlarged prostate, normal things for me my age, nothing major at all. But then the last couple of weeks, I was having this infection, which I've had this urinal tract infection for years. Can you imagine having a UTI for 2 or 3 years in succession without stopping? Different antibiotics the urologist was prescribing, but nothing worked. And I didn't know it was weakening my kidney and attacking the bladder, which has spasms, and possibly some other cells in it. So I'm having to adjust. I was in horrific pain for 3 weeks. I was in and out of emergency room here at the hospital at St. Stan. And then I had a little procedure done. And I have something in the morning and something on Friday and something at the end of this month. So I'm going to be going through some adjustments of late. And it does have to do with the kidney and the bladder and the prostate, that area of my body. So I don't think anything is life-threatening. It's just life-adjusting. I've been telling you now for the last several weeks now that this year, 2023, will be pivotal in every area, and it's turning out to be just that and more, with these dramatic and drastic changes that are taking place across the planet, our country, other countries. America's never felt more vulnerable or exposed or threatened by open enemies, beginning with Republicans in the Congress. They call themselves MAGA. I call them maggot Republicans, following Trump and all that stuff. It's just put the whole country where Vladimir Putin wants it. But then it's affected me, as you've seen. I've been talking since before Trump became president. I saw this coming. I was trying to warn us or prepare us to adjust appropriately and not become what it appears Vladimir Putin's agenda was, which is to split our democracy, split our country, weaken our influence on the planet, make democracy look silly. And he's happy, and he's killing innocent people. He's a brute, bully, narcissist, fascist, but Americans have bought into him and his plan to take us down, making us And Donald Trump loves that, of course, whatever these fascist guys are. He wants to be the same thing, so we're dealing with that. I'm going to be okay. Even if I died, I'd be all right, because the scripture says to live as Christ and to die as gain, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I believe that I have a longer extension to be on the planet just to help the midwifery of this movement evolving into, from the 20th century church to a more 21st century relevant church, or the so-called kingdom, the people of God. Because they're not looking like, acting like, showing up at all the places we're used to. The so-called people of God are showing that they're diverse, and they're different. And you can't, they don't have to look the same, sound the same, they don't even have to believe the same. They just have to work together, and that's what we're trying to do. All right, I don't know what all this will mean. As far as I had to cancel, I was supposed to be in Miami right now with Larry Reed all this weekend. Last week I was to be with Bishop Flunder in Atlanta for the consecration, for the convocation. Had to miss all of that. And I was supposed to fly back from Larry this week up to O.C. Allen, Bishop O.C. Allen on Saturday. That's canceled. I'm having to cancel my trip to Tampa, Florida. And maybe the next 2 or 3 months, I don't know how much I'll be able to travel and get about, because I'm going to be adjusting to whatever these things are. It could be a couple of months of chemo.
The popular pastor, that is Bishop Carlton D'metrius Pearson, a man who was born in 1953 on March 19th, and an American minister and, of course, gospel music artist. They say at one time he was, by the way, one of the biggest pastors, the biggest evangelists, and actually owned Higher Dimensions Evangelistic Center that actually incorporated and was later even named the Higher Dimensions Family Church. Which was, like I've told you, one of the largest churches in Tulsa, Oklahoma during the 90s. And of course, people who were there at the time said it could be so huge to the point that it had close to 6,000 attendees every time he held a service. Indeed, he was one of those biggest pastors or bishops within the evangelistic world. So in this moment in time, he's facing a couple of health-related challenges. We've seen via his official Facebook page, where the family came out and released a statement. But of course, before we dive deep into the statement which the family released, before he was taken into hospice, we can say, we all know Bishop Carlton Pearson was, like I've told you, one of the biggest evangelists, and when he was so huge, he made a controversial statement, and he said he did not believe in hell. He believed in God, but he did not believe in hell, which I've tried to look through a couple of interviews, and I've found out one interview he held with one of the major networks in the US, and he said he regretted that statement he made. So from that point, his mass actually started getting down, the numbers started getting down, and of course subsequently his huge congregation actually reduced drastically. So like I've told you, in this moment in time, he's facing a couple of health related challenges. We are praying for the family, we are praying for him, and the family came out to release a statement that read, to all of you who love Carlton as a friend, as a teacher, as a mentor, as a pastor, and as a bishop, our dear Carlton was diagnosed with cancer in 2001, and he was declared free from the disease shortly after. Just recently, the disease returned and has been a significant challenge, especially in the last 120 days. Since his last passed, we wanted you to be among the first to know that as a family, we have invited Comfort Care on our team in this critical time. We have prayerfully and intentionally walked this journey. The statement further continued and said, with him, as we all face our mortality, he's in good spirits and indeed a tough human being to be yet holding on. Thanks for your continued prayers and love. Many of you have asked how you can support our beloved bishop and his family first. Please continue to pray for Bishop Carlton. He has asked that people pray that he would live out the full number of his days. We agree with him as well. If you'd like to continue to support Bishop financially, you can send gifts to his cash app, that is $New Dimensions 2. At this time, we are not scheduling visitors. Please honor our request for privacy during this intimate time as we adjust. Thank you for your sensitivity. May we all do as he has taught us. We must make the change, manage the change, and of course, ultimately master the change. The statement ended and said, all love and prayers. So we need prayers, Bishop Carlton is in his last days, and of course it's really very tough, most especially for the family, for her daughter. I've tried to check through her Instagram, and the daughter was with her just a couple of days ago. They were in a car from a hospital, and of course it's been really very tough, and not only for the family but even for the fans, most especially those who followed Bishop Carlton. In this moment in time, we are continuing to send our prayers, and of course we'll be with the family in whatever happens.